If you've been on the internet in the last few weeks, you've seen the rumors. They all say that Lakai is done. There's a lot of rumors and chatter circulating the brand, and we wanted to take a minute to talk about what we know so far and to give our 2 cents. Hello, I am here. This is Levi from Shred Shop, connecting you to skateboarding, and today we're doing a video called What Happened to Lakai. To start the video, we wanted to say that our shop, this shop, opened December 1st, 2007. So we opened the store literally the very week that Fully Flared was released to the masses. This video came out and it shook the skateboarding world. It won Transworld's and Skateboarder Magazine's Video of the Year award. And Marky J. Johnson won Thrasher's Skateboarder of the Year award, SOTY.
Don't try this at home, kids.
That year, 2007. It was the highest grossing skateboard film of all time when it came out, and it was released in the glory days, the prime of skateboarding videos.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
And because of this, Lakai became most hyped up skateboard shoe brand of that time.
Yeah, boy.
At least in our area, in Cochrane, Alberta, Canada, as well as Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Cowtown. You couldn't even go to Mills without one, people doing drugs next to you and passing out, and someone wearing on one foot a Manchester and the other foot a Telford, because they couldn't choose because they're that good. Interesting enough, only a few months later was the 2008 giant recession. This caused chaos in the skateboard community. And as well as we mentioned in one of our other videos, where we live, it took our 20 skate shops that we had all the way down to 3. So before we get into why we're here for this video, let's rewind it back a little bit and let's talk about Lakai. Lakai was originally founded under the Girl umbrella, founded by Mike Carroll
like to play macho, you know. Guns go.
and Rick Howard. And we think they had silent partners of Spike Jones and Meg Baltimore. Since their conception in 1999, they've been famous for letting out some of the best videos. Videos like Lakai Canada A Tour.
Yeah, we're just trying to make these guys feel welcome in Canada, man.
Canadian Stupor Tour. Stay Flared.
I'm gonna call the cops on you for destruction of property.
Beware of the Flare. The Flare. Fully Flared. And Bubble. They have an all-star cast of filmmakers. People like Ty Evans, Spike Jones, Federico Vitetta, Daniel Wheatley, Daniel Policelli, and Dan Wolf. They've also had the most star-studded team of the years. People like Rick Howard, Mike Carroll, Eric Costin, Rob Welsh, Riley Hawk, Tony Hawk.
Are you kidding me?
Scott Johnson, Mike Moe, Alex Olson, Anthony Papalardo, Guy Mariano, and Mark Johnson. But that's just to name a few. And let's talk about the good Canadian boys they had on the team. Carl LaBelle, Wade Fife, Ted DeGrow, Mike Chalmers, and Bird Boy, Ty Peterson. We also have a blog post on what happened to Lakai. We'll keep that updated with everything we know, so make sure you guys keep checking back on that. Link below. Rewinding back and talking about the success of Fully Flared, the thing is, with how huge and successful the video was, it also was kind of viewed as a little bit of a curse because every individual skater blew up. And guys that Lakai had picked up for basically nothing because they were no names at that time, blew up and became household names, the most famous skateboarders. And then every shoe brand was offering crazy money to get them to come ride for them. Some people have dubbed this the Lakai intro curse because the main dudes that were in that all got huge offers. Huge! See guys like Alex Olson jumping ship to Vans and then later to Nike. Anthony Papalardo gets offered a huge deal with Converse. Cairo Foster leaves to ride for Etnies. Lucas Puig becomes the front man at Adidas. Mike Moe gets a huge contract from DC. Eric Costin leaves to ride for Nike SB. As well, he leaves 4-Star Clothing, which was under the Crail Tap umbrella, to go ride for Nike Clothing. And as time passed, even more people left, with Brandon Biebel leaving to Diamond Footwear, Mark Johnson leaving to Adidas, Guy Mariano joined Nike SB, Danny Brady goes to Vans, and JB Gillette and Nick Jansen also go to Nike SB.
Where did everybody go?
So not only was 2008 a giant recession that hit the skateboard brands very hard, but it was also a time where the big sports shoe companies were starting to pour a lot of money into the skateboard world.
Tell your men they work for me now. This is my city.
So this was a pretty tough time for the core skateboard shoe companies that were having a tough time financially because of the recession, but also having to compete with the big sports brands. It was so tough for these brands at that time that a lot of the core brands started to either go bankrupt or they got bought out.
I'm all out of money!
So then fast forward a bit, and in October 2014, Altamont Capital, which was a huge corporation, has nothing to do with the Altamont Clothing Company, bought out Huff and Lakai Footwear as a package deal. For context, Altamont Capital owns a bunch of companies like Fox, Brixton, Libtech, and Dakine. These companies basically come in and they help finance these smaller skateboard companies that need an influx of capital in order to compete. It was never released how many shares Altamont Capital actually purchased in the company, so it was unclear how much Rick and Mike still owned at this point. This is kind of the beginning of the crumbling of this core skateboard footwear market.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I don't want to go.
The crumbling continued for Lakai, so much so that 3 years later, in 2017, Altamont Capital announced that they were selling their shares that they had in Lakai. And so they sell their shares to another giant private investment company called TSI Holdings. TSI Holdings owns a ton of companies, but most notably Tactics Skate Shop and Stussy. TSI remained the majority of shareholders up until recently with this whole debacle that this whole story started. October 1st, 2024, a guy named Mark Roca took to LinkedIn to post that he was now the new owner and CEO of Lakai. He said in that post that he was going to be working very closely with Rick and Mike to maintain the integrity of Lakai. So when that was posted, it was fair to say that a lot of people were really optimistic looking at this. But just a month later, on November 5th, a random person on Slap message boards posted a thread that said, "Lakai is done," stating that the new owner of Lakai had laid off Rick, Mike, Meg, and all the employees and their team. And although at that time no one came out and said directly what had happened, not long after that, Mike Carroll came out and made a post that said that he felt like that he had failed the team and everyone that loves and has supported Lakai. And he thanked everyone for their support of the brand over the last 25 years and said that there will be more information about something in the coming months. He also used the hashtag #FreeLakai, which also makes it seem like they're trying to get it back at some point. The next day,
Tomorrow.
the Lakai official Instagram account made a post that was by Mark Roca himself, and it was a carousel of a bunch of different things airing out what was going on. The summary of this post was, 1, that Lakai was losing $1 million a year and was weeks away from being shut down, claiming bankruptcy. 2, that Rick, Mike, Meg, and Spike had no ownership in the brand for a very long time, and that he offered them 10% of Lakai for free, claiming that the brand was for sale for over a year and that no one wanted to buy it, so that he picked it up for really cheap. He says at that time that he asked them to cut the skate budget by 23%, but then it was just a few days later that they deleted the entire team page off the Lakai website. Mark Roca said that his plan for 2025 is to diversify the team across the globe, make travel videos, and make a hometown hero program. And then he signs off the post saying, "Mark Roca, just a dude trying to save Lakai with his own money." And that post has a ton of comments from a lot of industry heavyweights saying that he was being shady in the way he handled himself. It is also interesting to note that all the pro model shoes that are on the website have been renamed and the pros' names have been removed from those shoes. But since then, there's been a lot of heartfelt posts from a lot of Lakai team riders and staff, basically thanking Lakai for everything that they've done for them. Now, this is far from over, and I'm sure in the coming months, there will be a lot of details that'll be released. But one thing's for sure, that if Rick, Mike, and Meg are no longer involved, then it's really only Lakai by name. These three we were the heart of the brand for so long, and it's extremely sad to see how the story played out. Honestly, we feel as a core skate shop and even just participators in skateboarding, you should avoid buying Lakai right now because you're just paying into the demolishing of a legacy. Guys, I'm Levi, this is Shred Shop, connect you to skateboarding, and this is what's happening with Lakai. Let us know below who is your favorite team rider over the years with Lakai, and what was your favorite pro model shoe they ever put out. Stay tuned for comment of the week. Oh, we got a spicy one for you, my guys. It's from retro to now. He said, I watched the show from the crapper. I wait until a new Shred Shop video is uploaded, and I finally sit down to let it all out. It physically hurts when there is a long gap in video drops. Well, I'm sorry, Retro 2 Now. You probably aren't watching this because you died because we didn't put out a video for 8 months. So listen, bud, release the bowels, cure your hemorrhoids, demolish your toilet, and make someone else clean it up. Do you honestly, literally, do you ever? Are you ever just like kind of proud of yourself though for the farts that you make? You're like, I don't know what I ate, but that's frigged. Like that's
That's rancid.
oh man.